Assalamualaikum all of you, welcome to the new session, and today we are going to discuss about the softwares. In the previous videos we discussed about the data representation, transmission and hardware. Hardware was a lengthy topic, but software, unlike hardware, it's quite a small topic. Most likely it will be taking around 2 to 3 videos to cover the softwares. Now when it comes to software, what is a software? So software is basically electronic form of the instruction. Now what do you mean by electronic? So electronic is something, you may say that, for an example, you are right. Electronic means, I'm sorry, I think so. There is some glitch in my iPad. Yeah, okay, so that was a glitch. I was not realizing the function properly. Okay, now electronic means ones and zeros. Okay, ones and zeros, that means one is on and zero is off. So whatever we are giving the instruction in a high level language, that means a human understandable language, that are converted into the binary language or a computer understandable language. So set of instructions in an electronic format that is commanding the computer what operations it needs to perform is known as a software, or are known as softwares. Okay, now coming towards the classification of a software. Now if I do classify a software, or if I do divide a software, the software is actually divided into two major categories. Number one is system software and another one is the application software. System and application. Now what is the system software? System software is actually a software that is making a system, or you may say the computer, to execute properly. Whereas when it comes to the application software, so application software are those small apps or the applications that are allowing the user to perform certain tasks. Now when we come to the system software, so system software is majorly categorized into three categories. That includes the operating system, that is working as a bridge between the hardware and the software, or you may say that is working as a bridge between the system and a computer. Then it comes with the utility program. So utility program, just like there are utilities at our places, like for example electricity, gas, and you might say water. These are the utilities. So similarly, utility softwares are those softwares that are helping the operating system to execute properly. Like for example, they may include with the antivirus software, they may include the heuristic checks, they may include with the firewalls. These all are the utility softwares. Then coming towards the device drivers. So device drivers are basically a, a bridge between an application through which they are executed and a hardware about or for what you are going to execute with that particular application. So utility softwares are working as the bridge over there. Now coming towards the application software. So application software are again categorized into two categories. Number one is the special purpose softwares, and second one is the general purpose. Now special purpose are designed to perform just a particular task or a single task only. Okay, for example calculator, games, like you might see any of the games, so that game is particularly designed to perform that particular task only, not apart from that. For example, Subway Surfer. So Subway Surfer, on that Subway Surfer, you can only play a Subway Surfer. You cannot play any other, like you cannot go ahead with the Counter Strike on that thing, because that's a special purpose software. Coming towards the general purpose software, so they are the softwares that are allowing you to perform multiple tasks. Like for example, MS Word. MS Word is something like you may say it's the major, or you may say the prioritized function of MS Word is to have editing of the word or something, but you can make a design over that as well. You can make a presentation over it as well. You can import or export the tables on that as well. You can import a spreadsheet as well over it. So these are known as the general purpose software because they are applicable to perform multiple tasks at a time. Coming towards the features of the system software and an application software. Now when it comes to the features of a system software, so they do say they are providing a platform for the application softwares to execute properly. Provides a SCI, sorry. So SCI is a human computer interface, that how you're going to interact with your hardware. So there should be an communication method, or you may say there should be a interface between both of them, human and a user. So there are two interfaces, CLI and GUI. That's a command line interface and a graphical user interface. The third thing they are saying, controls the allocation and usage of the hardware resources, that what resource should be provided to which application and how much should be provided. So this is the major aspect. Coming towards the applications, or you may sorry, the features of an application software. So the first feature says they can be executed according to the user's request, as I just told you. Use to perform various applications. Now, multiple applications could be performed from there, and apart from that, allows the user to perform specific tasks. It completely depends. Now, you want on the MS Word, you need to do the specific task, that is, you are making the, or you are formatting the page, or you need to do multiple tasks over it. Completely depends up to the user. Now we will be dealing about the operating systems. Now operating system is a type of the system software that is actually allowing the system to function correctly and also allowing the user to communicate with the system. So operating system do have multiple tasks that it do carry out. It do have multitasking. Now what do you mean by the multitasking? Multitasking means that right now, for example, my system is connected. On my system, the voice recorder is working as well, the camera is working as well, the application that I'm utilizing to record this lecture, it is working as well as Google Chrome is working as well, and I think so the File Explorer is opened as well. So these are few of the applications that are executed simultaneously. So this is known as multitasking, because I am working on multiple tasks at a time. So this is known as multitasking. Then comes the multi-programming. Multi-programming means that on a single application, like for example, I have opened GoodNotes right now. So on the GoodNotes, I do have opened, I don't think so, yeah, you guys are able to see that. But on my GoodNotes, I have opened 3 or 4 files simultaneously. I can switch between them. So if on a single application, I am utilizing 3 or 4 files together, that is known as multi-programming. User management, some of the times you might have seen that when you just enter the system, so they do ask admin or a guest. So you are allowed to make multiple users on a single system. Each user may have his or own rights. So his or her own rights, sorry. So now completely depends that what type of the management do you require. Then SCI, that's the human computer interface. We will be learning about it in detail. So I'm skipping it right now. Interrupt handling. Now, interrupt handling, what is an interrupt? First of all, we need to know that. So I can just come over here. Okay, now interrupt is actually the special type of a signal that is generated by a hardware, or it might be generated by the software as well. Now, do remember that the interrupt's priority is always high. Now, how the priorities are checked out? They are checked out with the help of the PCBs, that is known as a process control block. So this is a PCB, process control block, that actually decides that how you're going to prioritize the things, or what interrupt will be uh, processed earlier. Okay, so interrupt is a special type of signal that is generated, or that might be generated by the hardware or might be generated by the software, and the priority of the interrupt is always high. So which interrupt needs to be processed first? This is also done by an operating system. Now, what are the causes, or you may say what are the reasons that an interrupt may occur? So a timing signal, if the timing signal is not working properly. Now what do you mean with timing signal? Like for example, you said that the answer should appear within 3 milliseconds, but there is no answer, so that a timing signal timeout will be written over there. So that is known as a timing signal. Then we do have input output process. If any of the input and output process is not working properly, or it's not giving you the correct answer, so that at that time it could occur. A hardware fault, if there is any sort of the hardware fault, like for example your hard drive crash, or you may say your speakers are not working properly, or your microphones are not working properly, so at that moment an interrupt might occur. Similarly, a software fault, for example your software freezes, your software crashes, so at all those stages an interrupt again occurs. And then user interaction, according to the user interaction there might be an interrupt, like for example I need to stop one of the process and I need to start with the other process, so that is also known as a user interaction and a user and an interrupt. Just after that, memory management. Now it concludes with the both primary memory, secondary, online, offline, all sort of the memories, all 4 of them. So not both, all 4 of them actually. So it is actually working about with the memory management as well. Then the file managing, what sort of the file should be utilized, what sort of the, how you are going to put them, there should be no disformatting and all. So this thing. Then security, applying of the firewalls, application of the you may say uh, encryption application of You may say firewall is done, encryption is done. Apart from that, if you are applying any sort of the password, so this is all done by the operating system once again. And then finally hardware management, that what hardware should be given to which software and how much should it be given to that. Now coming towards the SCI, so SCI is the human computer interface. As I just told you that there are two different types of the SCIs. That's a command line interface. That means in each and everything you need to type in that. You need to learn particular commands for that thing, okay? But GUI is a graphical user interface. You are on your cell phone, on your screen right now. You are able to see the GUI because there are the graphics. You just simply tap over that and you can utilize that thing. You can just take an example of this stuff like nowadays small kid is over there, so that kid is able to operate the systems easily. Why is that so? Because the icons are placed over there, and on that icon, as we also know that the picture is the best format to just you convey your message or you convey your data. So there are in the GUI there are pictures over there that from which, or you may say by the help of which, you are able to transmit your data. That is the reason that a small kid can also or is able to utilize those devices. Now we do have pros and cons, that mean the advantages and disadvantages of CLI as well as for the GUI. So we will be dealing about one by one about each of them. Coming towards the CLI, that's a command line interface. So the pros are allows direct communication with the system because it is a language one. It's a direct command, so it is allowing you to directly communicate with the system. Whereas when it comes to GUI, so wherever you are tapping, it will be converted into the binary first of all, and then binary will be going towards the microprocessor. But if there are commands, so user needs to learn those commands until unless there is a error in the command, so obviously you won't be able to operate that. Not restricted to predetermined options. That means whatever the command you are able to write, you can avail that option. There are no restricted options over there. Time consuming because you need to learn the commands, you need to write the commands. Each and every command should be written properly. Memory space is required less. Why? Because there are no images, there are no sounds, there is nothing. That is the reason that they are consuming less computer memory. Need to check for the correct spelling and format. Yeah, if there is any sort of the spelling error or the format error, it won't be taking it as the command, it will be giving you an error. Now coming towards the pros and cons of the GUI. So when it comes to the pros and cons of the GUI, so they are more user friendly. That is the reason that a small kid can easily utilize it. But they are utilizing more space because of the images, or you may say because of sound, because of videos and all that. You do not need to learn any command, but you are limited to the particular icons only or to the predefined icons only. You cannot do it by your own anything. Okay, so printing devices may be utilized to launch a device. Sorry, pointing devices may be utilized, not printing. So pointing devices may be utilized to launch a device. That means a mouse or a trackball or a joystick or a touch screen or any such thing like that. And you need an operating system for that. But when it comes to the CLI, so for the CLI you do not need a operating system. So that was all for the first phase of the softwares. In the second phase, we will be learning about the programming languages and all. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.